Chauhan. Welcome to the show, Shorya.
Thank you, Kanerika. We are in leg 2 of the Databricks discussion. The list became dynamic, and this is something that standard agents.
So now there is another piece, Genie Ontology. Welcome back to another episode of The Digital Shift by Kanerika. I'm your host, Kanishka Goyal. Databricks just wrapped up their Data and AI Summit 2026 in San Francisco, a week of back-to-back announcement. Like LTAP, Genie Zero Ops, Genie Ontology, and more ready to be shipped to the customers. And today we are picking up right where we left off, covering what's new with the platform again with our lead data engineer, Shorya Singh Chauhan. Welcome to the show, Shorya.
Thank you, Kanerika. We are in leg 2 of the Databricks discussion. Let's see how this one goes.
So Shorya, you follow Databricks platform very closely. In fact, you work with it every day, right? So after everything that came out of Data and AI Summit in 2026, what's your take on where this platform is heading?
So Databricks has stopped calling itself a place to process data itself and instead positioned as the operating layer for data analytics, agents, and AI. The main theme across the summit was LTAP, Genie 1 for autonomous operations, and Genie Ontology for business context. So Databricks is now basically providing an operating system for all of these operations instead of just a faster engine.
And one of the bigger announcement was LTAP, Lake Transactional Analytical Processing, right? So most of the organization, as you know, they have the transactional data sitting at one place, the analytics at another. So what's the cost of that and how does LTAP changes that?
Okay, so the transactional data these days could be lying around different data sources. It could be Postgres, Oracle, and then there would be another analytical warehouse built on top of it. Now, these might be connected with an ETL pipeline, which might cause lags or delays. The change that has been brought because of LTAP is that it has brought down the wall between writing data into one source and then reading it into another source for dedicated analytics only, because this processing engine can handle concurrent writes, it can give us subsequent analysis, and all of this is basically the newer version of the combined ETL and analytics platform.
So now let's talk about Genie. This name is showing up everywhere. Genie Ontology, Genie Zero Ops, Genie Code. So what is actually Genie and why is Databricks putting it across the whole platform?
You can think of Genie as the AI layer behind the entire platform. The best analogy would be it's the brain which has multiple functional units. So you've got Genie Code for developers. There is Genie Ops for operational work. There is Genie 1 for business users as well. And all of this is context rich. So the way Genie beats any other AI tool or agent that you might use is it is already embedded within the platform. So it leverages Unity Catalog, MLflow, Lakeflow, all the things which are there. And it eventually provides you the solution that you're looking for without providing more and more context to it.
So now let's go deeper on Genie Zero Ops. Most people know Genie Code as a developer tool, but Zero Ops is different. So what does it actually do for data teams that's used to handling pipelines manually?
Think of Genie Ops as the 2 a.m. on-call agent. Genie Ops will basically monitor all the jobs and pipelines that you have. Any process that fails, it will do the root cause analysis on its own. It will run the data quality metrics. It will then propose a fix as well. So once we approve it, it can implement the fix. Think of it as the on-site engineer that never sleeps. So you can actually sign off, but Genie Ops is still there monitoring all your work. Anything that fails, it will be flagged. The RCA would already be done. It just takes another SME or an engineer to approve and say that, yes, this fix is what we were looking for. Let's implement this.
So now there is another piece, Genie Ontology. It's been described as a living context layer. So what problem is it solving and why hasn't the documentation or semantic layer been enough?
So the agent can have all the access to your data. It can read from the tables or the different columns, but it still might not understand what the data means. For example, if there is a column called revenue, there might be a need to explicitly state whether it is gross revenue or net revenue. And in cases when you do not do that, the agents start guessing. Genie Ontology is the living context within the environment because it does not rely on any documentation or any sort of static information which is provided to it. Based on the usage and the consumption by end users, it decides what the KPIs are. For
Okay.
example, we had one particular client who had a sales platform. It was powered by Databricks underneath it. Originally, we had to define all the KPIs. There was a list of all the parameters that were shown for the scorecards. After using ontology, that entire process became dynamic. There was no longer a static list of KPIs based on what information was consumed more frequently on and what seemed relevant to the end users. The list became dynamic, and this is something that standard agents or the semantic layer documentations cannot achieve. That is the difference that is brought in by Genie Ontology.
So my next question is regarding the concerns that organizations have who are building AI agents, like how much or what data it can access or what's it spending. So how does Databricks handle that, especially with Unity AI Gateway?
Okay, so this headline, the Unity AI Gateway, it's basically the one badge reader for all the agents, machines, and humans that are working on the platform, because it can now monitor internal and external agents to see what the token spend limits are, what the usage limits are, and all of this can be governed using Unity Catalog. So you've still got all the ML flow audit trail that was there. So let's say there is a column that is marked as personally identifiable information. Putting that tag on that column will mask it across all of these layers. So irrespective of whether an end user is running some report or if a developer is running a query on it or an agent is using that data, all of them will get the same masked version of it. So that is what it has brought in, that the governance is applied across the entire application, not just for the end users or the developers, but for the agents as well.
So Kanerika is Databricks Brick Builder Bronze Partner, and a lot of organization wants to adopt Databricks, but the investment feel heavy. So how does Kanerika's partnership with Databricks help with that, and what kind of support can clients actually get?
So the platform move feels heavy, but you do not have to boil the ocean or fund it alone. Kanerika, as a Databricks Brick Builder Bronze partner plus Microsoft Solutions partner, sits across OneLake and Unity Catalog. Also, the FRIP migration accelerators make the migration process faster and low risk. The real edge is funding. We stack Microsoft's ECIF on the Azure side and Databricks DCIF on the other side in a single project, which a single alliance partner can't possibly match. We basically start with a phased assessment that provides the details of all the things that need to be implemented as part of that migration project, and then we take it up in terms of implementation. So it's not targeting the whole thing in one go, instead moving forward in a phased manner.
So Shorya, thank you for joining in. This has been a great conversation. LTAP, Genie Ontology, Genie Zero Ops, a lot have changed for Databricks in a short period of time, and you have made it very concrete for anyone trying to understand what these announcements mean.
Thank you, Kanishka, for having me here again. I think Databricks as a platform just keeps evolving as we speak, and we as Kanerikans are here to help you leverage it in the best possible way.
And as mentioned earlier, Kanerika is Databricks Brick Builder Bronze Partner. We can help bring co-investment to the table too. For more details, you can contact us on the link below. Thank you for tuning in. See you in the next episode.